सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। अनन्तरूपा अनन्तनामा आदिमूला नारायण अनन्तरूपा अनन्तनामा आदिमूला नारायण अनन्तशयना हे जगन्नाथ कमलनयना हे माधवा अनन्तशयना हे जगन्नाथ कमलनयना हे माधवा करुणासागर कालिङ्गमर्दन करुणासागर कालिङ्गमर्दन हे दया सिन्धो कृष्णा हे दया सिन्धो अनन्तरूपा अनन्तनामा विश्वरूपा विश्वाधारा विश्वेश्वर हे नारायणा विश्वरूपा विश्वाधारा विश्वेश्वर हे नारायणा भवभयहरणा दीनोद्धरणा भवभयहरणा दीनोद्धरणा हे कृपा सिंधो कृष्णा हे कृपा सिंधो अनन्तरूपा अनन्तनामा आदिमूला नारायण आदिमूला नारायण ॐ यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Humble prostrations to one and all present here. It's quite a long that you have had a satsang here, almost 3 years maybe. Very many chapters have been covered. There are some few chapters to be left to be covered. And one among those chapters is the 13th chapter. This is considered to be a little difficult chapter. So let me forewarn you. It is a chapter which contains the fundamentals of Vedanta, the core teachings of Vedanta. If we ask this question, what is the essence of Bhagavad Gita? If this question is asked, what will be our answer? Majority of the people, they will say, those who have not studied Gita seriously, their answer will be, perform your duties. That is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. You ask any common man, and this is what he will say, perform your duties. And therefore he will say, since I am performing my duty, I don't have to study Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is for those who are not performing their duties. And those who are performing, they need not study. There are others who will say, the essence of Bhagavad Gita is perform your duties, but without expectations. That clause they add. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu. Perform your duties without expecting the results. Those who have little bit of knowledge about Bhagavad Gita, this is what they will say. You ask them, is it practical? Without expecting results, is it possible to perform your duties? No, that I don't know, but this is what Bhagavad Gita say. As far as I am concerned, it is impractical. This is another class of people. So generally we find this is the notion which people have about Bhagavad Gita. What is the notion? The whole of Bhagavad Gita is Krishna asked Arjuna to perform his duty, so therefore Bhagavad Gita is asking us to perform our duty. That's all the essence of Bhagavad Gita is. So now we are all students of Bhagavad Gita. We should not commit such a mistake. So if this question is asked, what is the essence of Bhagavad Gita? So our answer should be, Bhagavad Gita is the essence of the Vedas, the Upanishads. So therefore, the essence of Bhagavad Gita must be the essence of the Vedas alone. Now the question is, what is the essence of the Vedas? So the essence of the Vedas, we can undoubtedly say it is Jīva-Brahma-aikya. Oneness between Jīvātmā and Paramatma. Jiva and Brahma. This is the highest teaching of the Vedas, of Vedanta, of Upanishad. This is the highest teaching. This is the essence of all teaching. That this individual is not different from that God. There is no difference at all. There is absolutely no difference. So some sample statements are Tat Tvam Asi. That highest reality, that truth, that God, you are Tvam Asi. You are that. There is no difference. Or another statement is Aham Brahma Asmi. I am Brahman. So these are all the sample statements from the Upanishads. So the essence of the Vedas is Mahāvākya. Now this is called as Mahāvākya. Mahāvākya means what? Great statement. Why is it all great statement? Not because the statement is long, but because the content of the statement is highly important. Why is it highly important? It is highly important because this is the very purpose of life, to know this great truth, that my essence is none other than the essence of God. I am not different from God. I am that Satchit Ananda Swarupa Atma. Satchit Ananda Swarupa Brahman. There is no difference at all. To experience this highest state is the very purpose of life. So that is why this Vakya is called Mahāvākya, the great statement, the ultimate statement. So if this is the essence of the Vedas, what should be the essence of Bhagavad Gita? The essence of Bhagavad Gita also should be Tat Tvam Asi. Jīva-Brahma-aikya. There cannot be any difference. Sarvopanishado gavo Dogdha Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsas Sudhir Bhokta dugdham Gita amritam mahad. So if all the Upanishads are cows, Bhagavad Gita is the essence of that cow. It is that nourishing milk. So the essence of Bhagavad Gita is Tat Tvam Asi. What is Tat Tvam Asi? Tat means that supreme reality, God. Tvam, you. Asi, are. That you are. 3 terms. So now, the next question is, how is Bhagavad Gita expounding this Mahāvākya? Tat Tvam Asi Mahāvākya or Aham Brahmasmi Mahāvākya. Anyway, how is Bhagavad Gita expounding it? So then the great commentators say, the first 6 chapters, they talk about Tvam Pada. Tvam means the individual, the Jīvātmā. So the whole analysis is about this individual, about us. The Jiva. That is the content of the first 6 chapters. The next 6 chapter, that is from 7 to 12. 7 to 12, the topic is Tat Pada Vichara. Analysis about Tat Pada. Tat means what? God. So first 6, they deal with Jiva Vichara, about the individual. The second 6, they deal with Ishvara Vichara, the Lord. The next 6, that is from 13 to 18, the Mahatmas say the topic is Asi Pada Vichara. Asi means equating. How is this Jiva equal to that Ishvara? So there is an equal sign, isn't it? Jiva equal to Ishvara. How is that equality possible? So this analysis is the subject matter of the next 6 chapters. That is from 13 to 18. So we are in which chapter now? We are into 13th chapter. So what will be the main theme of this chapter? The main theme of this chapter will be, how is it that I am equal to God? Because this is something unimaginable, unthinkable. Some even call it blasphemy. How dare you say that you are God? So naturally a question will come, how is it possible? So this chapter is regarding this Asi Pada Vichara. Let us first briefly go through these chapters up to 12. Chapter number 1, what is the content? Confusion is the content. Delusion is the content. Crying and weeping is the content. This is our biography. First chapter. Arjuna Vishada Yoga. So what is the topic there? Definitely it is Tvampada Vichara only. The topic is not God, the topic is the individual. An individual who has no knowledge about the scriptures, his life is nothing but a series of blunders, full of confusions, full of delusions, full of crying and weeping. In the modern language, we may say depression, tension, worry, anxiety. This is natural to a person who is divorced from this knowledge. This is chapter number 1. And this is what we see in Arjuna. He collapses sitting on the chariot. See, it is related to the individual. Chapter number 2. What happens in chapter 2? Arjuna surrenders unto Bhagavan. Shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. Bhagavan, I am totally confused. I don't know what I should do. Whether to fight the war or to withdraw from the war, I don't know. Please guide me. I am totally confused. And from there Bhagavad Gita starts. And the essence of the second chapter is the knowledge of the self. And later on Bhagavan describes the characteristics of a man of knowledge through Sthita Prajna Lakshana. How does that person behave, the one who has this knowledge in the society? How does he behave? What are the characteristics of a man of wisdom? So this is second chapter. Again it is revolving around the individual. Chapter number 3, Karma Yoga. What is the essence? How we should intelligently live in this world. How we should live in this world in such a way that there is material prosperity also and there is spiritual evolution also. Both are necessary. How to live? So the essence is perform your action with yajna bhavana. So the secret mentioned there is sacrifice the individuality for the welfare of the totality. So this is what we find in chapter number 3. Again, the topic is revolving around the individual. Chapter number 4, the glory of self-knowledge is given. How to gain this self-knowledge from the Mahatmas? Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya. How to approach the great teachers. What are the qualifications necessary to gain this knowledge? Shraddhavan labhate jnanam tatparas sanyatendriya. And what happens to you after gaining this knowledge? So all these topics are seen in chapter 4. In chapter 5 also almost the similar topic continues. What happens to this man of knowledge? He is a master relaxer, we can say. Navadware puredehi naiva kurvanna karen. He relaxes in the city of 9 gates. This is how the man of knowledge is described. So chapter 5 also in the same. Chapter 6 is all about meditation. So at the seat of meditation, your greatest enemy will be your mind. Greatest friend also is going to be your mind. So take care of your mind. Then at the seat of meditation, what are the ways in which you can have a successful meditation? All those techniques are described. So therefore, we can say chapter number 1 to 6, it is all about Tvam Pada Vichara, about the individual. Then we have 7th chapter. What is the content of 7th chapter? Who is that Lord? So it says, Jagataha Srishti Sthiti Laya Karanam, the one who is the support of the whole world, the one who is the support of all beings. There is none greater than that Lord. And you don't have any Anya Devatas also. No, there is only one God. He is the supreme God. All those little gods, they get power from this one God. So all those topics come in chapter number 7. Then what are the different types of devotees who approach that God? Artha Bhaktas, Artharthi Bhaktas, Jitnyasu Bhaktas. Different types of devotees are mentioned. So that's all about chapter 7. What about chapter 8? At the time of death, how to remember that God? This is the topic of chapter 8. What happens you don't properly fix your mind upon God, then which are the worlds you go? So that is a chapter 8. When did we take it? Last time I think that was the one which was taken. Yes. So how many of you were there? Chapter 8? We had taken it here only. Okay, fine. That is chapter 8. Then we have chapter 9. What is chapter 9? Chapter 9 says, it is very, very easy to attain that supreme God. What is needed is only a pure heart filled with devotion. Susukham kartum aviyam. Apiche sudurachara. Even the greatest sinner can attain him. Everyone can attain him. And the path is very, very easy. This is chapter 9. Then we have chapter 10. What is chapter 10? Bhagavan says, I am there in everyone, in everything. Vibhuti Yoga. In this world, whenever you see something great, someone who is extraordinarily brilliant, intelligent, powerful, whatever you see in this world which is great, powerful, splendorous, divine, know that it is because of me. So, try to recognize me in everything and everyone. This is chapter 10. What is chapter 11? Arjuna says, Bhagavan, is it possible? Then please give me that divine vision. So Bhagavan, out of his, divine power, he gives Arjuna that ability to see God everywhere. That is Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga. That is chapter 11. Chapter 12, it is Bhakti Yoga. How to develop devotion for God. And who are those people whom Bhagavan loves? So the whole thing comes in chapter 12. Now we are in chapter 13. So chapter 1 to 6, Tvam-pada vichara. Chapter 7 to 12, Tat-pada vichara. And now chapter 13 is Asi-pada vichara. Asi means what? Equating. In fact, 13 to 18 we cannot strictly call it is that Aikya-vicāra. 13, 14, 15 we can say so. 16 and 17 is more into cultivating virtues. And 18 is basically the summary of entire Bhagavad Gita. Right, so with this introduction, now we enter into chapter 13. The first verse, in very many books, it is not there. Arjuna Uvacha verse. Why is it not there in very many books? They say that in the original Bhagavad Gita, in the original Mahāvākya, that particular verse is not there. Somebody has added it. Anyway, we are not entering into any discussion regarding that. But this first verse is very useful in understanding the contents of the 13th chapter. So therefore, we will, in our discourse, we will include this first verse, right? So please repeat once. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Atha त्रयोदशोऽध्यायः क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञविभागयोगः अर्जुन उवाच प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च एतद्वेदितुमिच्छामि ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव together प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च एतद्वेदितुमिच्छामि ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव. Yes. So this verse you may not find in some of the books. So the chapter begins with a question raised by Arjuna. So Arjuna has heard so many terms. Maybe he must have come across while studying the scriptures also. So some of those terms which he did not understand the meaning, he is asking the meaning of these terms. Bhagavan, etat veditum ichchami. I love to know, I want to know the meaning of these terms. What are those terms? Prakritim Purusham. Prakriti and Purusha. Kshetram Kshetrajñam. Kshetra and Kshetrajña. 4. And then Jnanam Jneyam. Jnanam means knowledge. Jneyam means the thing to be known. Jnanam Neyam. Bhagavan, I would like to know what they mean. So this is the question. So what will be the answer? Naturally the answer will be Bhagavan's explaining these terms. So this 13th chapter is nothing but explanation of these 6 terms. What are the 6 terms? Prakriti Purusha, Kshetra Kshetrajña, and then Jnanam Neyam. 6 terms. In any subject, if you want to enter, first we will have to study the technical terms, isn't it? It is true in every field. You have to study the technical terms first. Those terms may appear to be, terms which you may think you know the meaning, but it is not. For example, suppose you want to enter into cricket. There is a term called silly point. In cricket, those who know cricket, there is a silly point. What is silly point? It is not a point which is silly. It is something different. The batsman is there is a very nearby place. So maybe if the batsman makes a silly mistake, there is a fellow ready to catch the ball. Maybe that's the reason that point is called silly point. Now this is a technical term. So if you want to enjoy that game, you will have to learn all these technical terms. Your general knowledge will not do. That specific knowledge of that term is essential. Maiden over. That maiden over has nothing to do with maiden, isn't it? Golden duck has nothing to do with duck. These are some of the terms. In every field you have. Inflation. What is inflation? It is not the inflation of the balloon. In business, that term has a different name. Liquid cash. You may know what is liquid, but that liquid cash has nothing to do with liquid, isn't it? So you'll have to know what that technical term is. In computer world also so many terms are there. Bits and bytes and what is that? Mouse. Bluetooth. It is not a tooth which is blue. It's totally different, isn't it? So many such terms are there. They appear to be very common terms, but the meaning is very, very different. So therefore, if we have to gain a thorough knowledge about any subject, what is the first thing we have to do? We'll have to take up these technical terms and we have to understand their meanings thoroughly. Only then we'll be comfortable in reading the books related to that field. So in scriptures, there are so many such terms. In fact, there is a book itself. There is a Prakarana Grantha written by Bhagavan Shankaracharya, and that Prakarana Grantha is named Tattva-bodha. Tattva-bodha. That's a basic text for Vedanta. So anyone who wants to study Vedanta will have to study that book, where all these technical terms are defined. And once you know the meaning, then it will be very easy for you to study the scriptures. So now Arjuna is asking Bhagavan, I have heard these terms. Will you please tell me what these terms mean? So what are the terms? Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetra, Kshetrajña, and then Jnana and Nyeya. 6 terms. Etat veditum ichchami. Bhagavan, please explain to me these terms. And now Bhagavan starts answering. Let us chant verse number 2. Shri Bhagavanuvāca idam shariram kaunteya kshetramityabhidhiyate etad yo veti tam prahuhu Kshetrajña iti tadvidaha. Idam shariram kaunteya kshetramityabhidhiyate etad yo vetti tam prahuhu kshetrajña iti tadvidaha. Right. So now Bhagavan is answering these questions. So first he takes up the term Kshetra and Kshetrajña. Kshetra and Kshetrajña. So what does Bhagavan say? Arjuna, idam shariram kshetram iti abhidiyate. This shariram, idam shariram, this body is called kshetra. Okay. This body is called a kshetra. Then etad yaha vetti, the one who knows this body, tam kshetrajñah iti prahuhu. The one who knows this body is called kshetrajña. Thus the wise say, tadvidaha, those who know about this, they say this. So what is the definition of kshetram? Idam shariram kshetram. This body is called kshetra. And what is kshetrajña? The one who knows this body is called kshetrajña. Now this appears to be very simple, isn't it? It is not simple. Anyway, first let us see what Bhagavan Shankaracharya says. Why is that this body is called kshetra? Why is this body called kshetra? So Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, because of three reasons. Kshetra means kshatatranat kshetraha. Kshatatran. That which we try to protect from injury is called kshetra. That which we try to protect from injury is called kshetra. So this body is kshetra because we try to protect this body from injury. Second meaning, kshayat, ksharanat kshetraha. That which decays is called kshetra. So therefore, this body is something which decays and dies, therefore it is called kshetra. But the third meaning is amazing. Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, kshatravat asmin karma phala nivrittehe. It's something, out of the box thinking. What is kshetra? Generally, in English, if you translate kshetram, what is the term used? We will say field. For example, Krishi Kshetram. So generally the kshetra means field. So in that field, what do you do? So the field is that where you sow the seeds and reap the crops. Yes or no? Where sowing the seeds and reaping the crops take place, that is called as kshetram. Isn't it so? Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, if this is the definition, this body is also kshetram only. Why? What are we doing in this body? We are sowing the seeds of actions and then reaping the results of those actions. Both of them that happen in this body only. Yes or no? With this body, what are we doing? Constantly we are performing actions. At the physical level, at the verbal level, at the thought level, we are performing actions, and every action is like a seed. That seed has to sprout. It has to bring out crop. So every action, if it is a seed, it comes back as results of those actions, which is the crop. So I do something good, good starts happening to me. So that thing which is happening to me, it is nothing but the crop. Isn't it? So what are we doing? We are constantly sowing seeds of action and constantly reaping the crops of results of this action. Constantly sowing the seeds of karma and constantly reaping the crops of karma phala. So therefore, we can definitely say this body is kshetram. Clear? Beautiful meaning. And who is the farmer? Farmer is none other than the Jīvātmā. Who else? So, in this field of body, the farmer called Jīvātmā is constantly reaping the crops of his own karma phalas. Beautiful meaning. So now, coming back, idam shariram kshetram. This body is the kshetra. And now what is the definition of Kshetrajña? The one who knows this body, etat yaha veti, the one who knows, is the Kshetrajña. Now who is the one who is knowing it? This body is Kshetra. The one who knows the body is Kshetrajña. Who is the one who is knowing it? We say we are the ones. Whatever happens to this body, who is the one who knows it? I. There is stomach pain, I am the one who is knowing it. There is a headache, I am the one who knows it. Whether the body is healthy or unhealthy, I am the one who knows it. Veti means to know, to experience. The limitations of this body, fat or thin, I am the one who is knowing it. Whatever is happening to this body, I am the one who is knowing it. So therefore, when this is said, etadyo veti, the one who knows this body, he is Kshetrajña. So naturally our definition of Kshetrajña will be, this Kshetrajña is none other than Jīvātmā, which is me. Yes or no? In the next verse, Bhagavan denies it. Bhagavan says, no, that Kshetrajña is not you, it is me. See the verse number 3. Kshetrajñam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata kshetra kshetrajñayor jnanam yat jnanam matam mama kshetrajñam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata kshetra kshetrajñayor jnanam yat jnanam matam mama. Yes. So verse number 2, Bhagavan defined Kshetrajña as the knower of Kshetra, knower of body. Now what is Bhagavan saying here? Kshetrajñam mam vidhi. Know this Kshetrajña to be me. Where? Sarva kshetreshu, in all bodies. In all the physical bodies, all bodies means what? Not just human body. It can be plant body, animal body, insect body, bird body, whichever body it may be. In all bodies, I am the Kshetrajña, the knower. Actually, this is a stunning statement. My experience says I am the knower. God says, no, I am the knower. So where to search God? Search the real knower of body. The moment you find the real knower of the body, there you will find God. Because that's how He has defined Himself. I am the knower of the body. And now Bhagavan has understood that Arjuna is totally confused. So Bhagavan says, Arjuna, this knowledge is the highest. Kshetra Kshetrajñayoho jnanam. This knowledge between what is Kshetra and what is Kshetrajña, Arjuna, Tat jnanam. That is real knowledge. What about all the other knowledge? That is ignorance only. Anything other than jnanam is ajnanam. What else? You see this? See the importance. Matam mama. This is my firm conviction, opinion. So what is real knowledge in this world? The real knowledge is knowledge about Kshetra and Kshetrajña. What is that knowledge about Kshetra and Kshetrajña? This body is Kshetra, fine, we have no objection. But then regarding Kshetrajña, the knower of the body, our understanding is, I am the knower. God says, no, I am the knower. So if you have understood the knower of your body as God, you have gained the highest knowledge. Now this line, Kshetrajñam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu, it is a Mahāvākya. So in Bhagavad Gita, if this question is asked, where is Mahāvākya given? What is Mahāvākya? Jīva-Brahma-aikya-vicāra is called Mahāvākya. Wherever there is an equation between Jīvātmā and Paramatma, wherever Jīvātmā is equated with Paramatma, such a statement is called Mahāvākya. So in Bhagavad Gita, where is that Mahāvākya? This is that Mahāvākya. Verse number 3. Kshetrajñam chapi mam vidhi. How can this be Mahāvākya? So, those who are comfortable with maths, Kshetrajña, the knower of the field. What is our experience? Our experience is, I am the one who is knowing this body. Whatever is happening in this body, I am the one who is knowing it. So therefore, knower of the body equal to Jīvātmā. This is experience. Yes or no? Knower of the body equal to Jīvātmā. What is Bhagavan saying here? Kshetrajñam mam. So what is he saying? Knower of the body equal to Paramatma. So what is equation number 1? Knower of the body equal to Jīvātmā. Equation number 2? Knower of the body equal to Paramatma. So from equation 1 and 2, what is the conclusion? Jīvātmā equal to Paramatma. Have you understood? How did you get the first equation? Knower of the body equal to Jīvātmā. That is my experience. I am Jīvātmā. And I very well know that I am the one who is knowing this body. I very clearly know it. I don't have any doubt regarding it. But then Bhagavan says, no, that knower is me. That second line comes from the scriptures. It is not my experience, but it is coming from the scriptures. So 1 and 2 finally concludes Jīvātmā equal to Paramatma. So now Bhagavan says, this is the highest knowledge. The rest, everything is ignorance alone. So what is highest knowledge? Knowing that the knower in me is none other than the Lord. Knowing that I am not at all different from the Lord. This is what is called as the highest knowledge. Naturally, doubts will be there, questions will be there. So now the remaining chapter is actually the explanation of this one statement. How is Jīvātmā equal to Paramatma? So what all are the things which we must know? So therefore, Bhagavan says, Arjuna, if this concept clarity has to be attained, you will have to know very many things about what is Kshetra and what is Kshetrajña. It is not as simple as you think. What did Bhagavan say at the beginning? Idam kshetram, idam shariram kshetram. This body is Kshetra. Arjuna, this statement appears to be very simple, but it is not. What are the complications involved? Now Bhagavan himself is going to describe. Let us see verse number 4. Tat kshetram yadrukcha yad vikariyatascha yat sachayo yat prabhavascha tat samasena me shrunu tat kshetram yacca yadrukcha yad vikariyatascha yat sachayo yat prabhavascha tat samasena me shrunu. Tat samasena me shrunu. Listen to me. The whole thing I will tell you in brief, samasena. Bhagavan, what are the things which you are going to say? Tat kshetram. I will tell you about that kshetra. Yat cha. What is that? Yat cha. Yadrik cha. It is of what nature? What is its nature? So what is that kshetra? What is its nature? Yad vikari, what are its modifications? Yataschayat. Yataschayat means what? What comes after what? Yat yataha. From what? Yataha means from what? Yat means what? What comes from what? Means what are the cause and effects? From this, another thing comes. From that, another thing comes. So that sequence. The sequence of evolution, we can say. Yataschayata means sequence of evolution. So, Arjuna, I will tell you what that kshetra is, what its nature is, what are its modifications, what are the sequence of evolution. Arjuna, you will have to know all these things to understand what kshetra is. And then, sachayo yat prabhavascha sa. So here sa means that kshetrajña. Kshetrajña. You will also have to know that kshetrajña. Yat prabhavaha, its glory, its greatness. You will have to know. Right. All these things I will tell you samasena, in brief. So, idam shariram kshetram, it's a very simple statement, but there are a lot of things you may have to understand. Right. But Bhagavan, what is the source of your knowledge? You're going to say all this, fine. Bhagavan says, hey, my source of knowledge can be only one, it is Vedas alone. So, the next verse. Let us chant verse number 5. Rishibhir bahudha Gītam Chandobhir vividhaif prithak Brahma sutra padaishchaiva Hetu madbhir vinishchitaihi Rishibhir bahudha Gītam Chandobhir vividhaif prithak Brahma sutra padaishchaiva Hetu madbhir vinishchitaihi. Yes. Rishibhihi Gītam. So whatever knowledge which Arjuna, which I am going to give you, it is not something which I have created by myself. No, it is there. From the very beginning of the creation, this knowledge is there. It is there in the Vedas. It has been sung by very many rishis. Rishibhihi Gītam. Now here interesting thing is, Bhagavan doesn't say this knowledge has been taught. What is Bhagavan saying? Gītam. Gītam means what? This knowledge has been sung. When do you sing? When you are happy or when you are sad? In films you find people singing when they are sad. But generally singing happens only when we are happy, isn't it? So the point is this, spiritual knowledge and happiness, they go together. That's why Bhagavad Gita starts with such a statement from Bhagavan. Gatasun agatasunscha na anusochanti panditaha. Panditaha na anusochanti. What is the sign of wisdom in a person? The sign of wisdom is expressed as absence of sorrow. Peace, contentment, happiness. This is the end result of wisdom. What is the sign of delusion, confusion, ignorance? The sign of ignorance is sorrow. Okay. So that's why we have Bhagavad Gita. Just imagine, in the battlefield, Bhagavan is singing a song. Gita means song. Bhagavad Gita means the song sung by Bhagavan is called Bhagavad Gita. And where is he singing? He is not singing in some jungle. He is singing in the battlefield. So on one side we see Arjuna collapsing there. Other side we see Bhagavan singing a song, smiling. Right? That is the glory of spiritual knowledge. Once you gain this knowledge, you find there is no reason why there can be tears, sorrowful tears in your eyes. There is no reason. There is no reason in this world why one must cry. This is true only for those who have spiritual knowledge. Otherwise, there are plenty of reasons. In fact, there are only reasons to cry. It's a wonder how a person is happy without spiritual knowledge. Because this world is full of misery and sorrows. But when spiritual knowledge is there, it's a wonder how a person can cry. So, the point is Geetam. Rishibihi Geetam. They sang this song. Even while teaching, they were singing. Singing means expression of joy. Rishibihi Geetam. Bahudha Geetam. Arjuna, this knowledge which I am going to give you, Kshetra, Kshetrajña Vidya, this Vidya which I am giving you, this knowledge has been sung in various ways. Bahudha Geetam. In poetical form, in sutra literature, through itihasas and puranas, through Ramayana and Mahāvākya, what is being done? This knowledge alone has been given. The knowledge of Kshetra and Kshetrajña. Bahudha, various ways. Various ways. And different ways also. So we have Druk-Drishya Viveka, we have Avasthatraya Viveka, we have Shariratraya Viveka, we have Panchakosha Viveka. These are all different ways of expounding this ultimate knowledge of Vedanta. They're all different ways. By the way, all these terms which I have used, you will find in Tattva-bodha. Right? Tattva-bodha is the text. All these talks are there on YouTube. You can find, just type in Tattva-bodha, all those talks will come. Right. So, Bahudha Geetam, Rishibihi Geetam, Bahudha Geetam. In various ways, the very same knowledge has been given. And then, Vividhehi Chandobihi Geetam. Chandas here means Veda mantras. Through various Veda mantras in the Vedas, this knowledge alone has been expounded. Prithak Geetam. Very clearly separating what from what? Kshetra from Kshetrajña. Very clearly separating these two, defining each of them. So this alone has been given in various ways. And then, Brahma Sutra Padehi Geetam. See, they are all adjectives of this Geetam term. Rishibihi Geetam, Bahudha Geetam, vividehi chandobihi Gītam prathak Gītam Brahma Sutra Padehi Gītam. Now what is this Brahma Sutra Pada? So here Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, so one meaning is of course Brahma Sutra, which is written by Bhagavan Vedavyasa Rishi. That is simple meaning. But another meaning which Bhagavan Shankaracharya says is, what is Brahma Sutra? Brahmanah Suchakani Vakyani Brahma Sutrani. Those statements which reveal the nature of Brahman is called Brahma Sutra. Suchakani. Sutra means suchak. Suchak means indicators. So those statements which indicate the nature of Brahman, the ultimate reality, that is called as Brahma Sutra. And then taihi padyate gamyate jnayate brahma iti tani padani uchyante. So pada means what? Padyate is pada. That which can be reached, that which can be known, that which can be experienced directly. That's the meaning of pada. So Brahma Sutra pada means those statements which reveal the nature of Brahman, which gives us a clear understanding of what Brahman is. Not only that, which takes us to that state and makes us experience that state. Such statements are called Brahma Sutra pada. Brahma Sutra padehi. So those statements which reveal to us the nature of Brahman and which take us to that state and make us experience that state, such statements are called Brahma Sutra pada. So Brahma Sutra padehi Gītam. And then Hetu madbhihi Gītam. All these statements are full of Hetu. What do you mean Hetu? Logic. Convincing logic. So when something is expounded, when a concept is clearly explained, they are explained with logic, with reason. Convincing reason. Hetu madbhi Gītam. And then Vinishchitaihi Gītam. Every term is so beautiful here. Vinishchitaihi. Nishchaya means what? With firm conviction. Well ascertained. Something which can never be proved false, which can never be refuted. That is called Vinishchitaihi. Unlike the scientific inventions, discoveries, etc. Few years after, a new scientist comes and everything is refuted. How many of the theorems propounded by Newton has been refuted later? At that time, they said this is the highest, this is the ultimate reality. Another 100 years come and some other great scientists say, Einstein or somebody comes and say, no, what Newton said is wrong. Because of this reason, that is wrong. I think this is right. So he brings out one theory. Out of few years, another great scientist comes. And then he says, no, that is not right, this is right. If you go to this Google and all, you will find how many times scientists have been proved wrong. How many times science, proven theories have been proved wrong. By the successive scientists, you will find that. Such a problem doesn't exist with spirituality. You see, Vinishchitaihi. That very same nature of the self. The self-enquiry in Satyuga done by the great rishis, the very same self-enquiry is happening even today also. Isn't it? What is the nature of the self? In the Satyuga also the nature of the self was Satchit Ananda. In Kali Yuga also the nature of the self is Satchit Ananda alone. It has never been refuted. It is the same thing. That is called as Vinishchaya. It can never become obsolete. It can never become outdated. Vinishchitaihi. Vinishchitaihi Gītam. And that is why these scriptures are still alive. Why do you think that these scriptures like Upanishads, etc., we don't know when this was, we should not say composed, when these Upanishads were revealed to the rishis, we don't know. It has no time. So all the rishis, we believe that it is beginningless. Right? So from the beginningless past, this knowledge is remaining there. And today also, sadhaks are benefited from all these scriptures. And all these statements are never proved wrong. That is why these scriptures are alive even today. Thousands of years have passed. So, Bhagavan says, Arjuna, I am not going to give you some new knowledge. No, it is the same thing which is there in the Vedas, which is there in all these scriptures. The same thing I am giving you. Nothing new. Okay, so the Kshetra knowledge you must gain. This is what I am going to give. And now Bhagavan starts this description of Kshetra. He had promised. What is the promise given? Arjuna, I will tell you what is Kshetra, what is his nature, what are his modifications, what are the sequence of evolution. All these things I am going to tell you. What is the nature of Kshetrajña? What is his glory, its power? Everything I am going to tell you. So this is the promise. Now Bhagavan fulfills the promise. He starts discussing Kshetra first. So what that topic is, we will see in detail tomorrow. Shri Guru Devam Chinmayanandam Pranamamyaham Gurudevam Aharnisham Dharmodharakam Gita Pracharakam Anandarupam Atmaswarupam Shri Guru Devam Chinmayanandam Pranamamyaham Gurudevam Aharnisham Tamasaharakam Utsahavardhakam Tapovanashesham Tattvaswarupam Shri Guru Devam Chinmayanandam Pranamamyaham Gurudevam Aharnisham Pranamamyaham Gurudevam. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.